everyone, this is Melissa, and I'm the talkative introvert.
Dude, the craziest thing happened to me today.
Oh my god, good thing I'm recording this. Tell me.
I'm in line for Jack in the Box drive-thru for breakfast because my lunch was at 10 a.m. today. So, and I'm just minding my own beeswax, and the car in front of me all of a sudden hits the car in front of it, and I'm just like, oh shit, some drama's about to happen.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
Oh, just something that happened to me today. I was catch up to speed in the Jack in the Box drive-thru line in my car.
Okay.
And on my lunch, which was at 10 a.m., so I'm getting breakfast. And the car in front of me hits the car in front of it, and she gets all pissed off and jumps out, and then realizes he's having some sort of heart attack or seizure or something like that, and just starts screaming, he's dying, somebody call 911.
That's a lot.
And I'm just like, okay, lady, you're not handling this right. I throw my car in the park, run up there, open his door, see if he's conscious at all. He's not. He's having a seizure. He has Starburst gummies in his mouth that are halfway in, halfway out of his mouth. So I swoop my finger across and scoop him out before he chokes to death on him. He has a seizure for about 1 to 2 minutes. And this lady calls 911, and 911's not being helpful. They're like, what's he doing? And we're like, he's having a seizure. God damn it.
Fucking nothing. He's laying on the ground.
I didn't get him out of the car. I wanted him upright because he had the stuff in his mouth.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but he bit his tongue, and so there's blood everywhere. And it was just like, oh, shit, now I have, stranger blood on me.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And eventually the ambulance came, and he kind of came out of it. But he didn't know where he was. He didn't know what time it was. He didn't know what day it was. He didn't know what year it was, like anything. He didn't know what happened. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm on my lunch. I have to go.
Yeah, I'm out of time, y'all.
Yeah. So that happened today.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah.
I can't with that. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. We're getting sidetracked again.
No, it's okay. All right. Let me do my little intro. I'm super excited for today's episode, joined by my friend Mia, who have been in previous episodes. If you listen to our latest one, Introvert Dating Update, towards the end, I was telling Mia how it'd be so awesome to interview a legit witch. And Mia, being the amazing person that she is actually friends with one in real life. So today, Mia and I are interviewing a witch. We're joined by Delena, who's going to talk to us about being a witch. And thank you so much for going on. Like when Mia told me that she had a friend and she was willing to like talk about all this stuff, I was kind of fangirling a little bit
Thank you. That is funny. I never think about it very much, but I guess I am a lot of people's witch friend.
Yeah, cool. I've never met one before. And
you probably have and just have no idea. We're like the gays.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can't be like, well, she could be a witch. I don't know. That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't know. So maybe I met one. But thanks for getting on and
for sure.
willing to answer these questions that we have.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm excited. Like when Mia messaged me, I was like, it depends on the energy of what the podcast is about, but I trust Mia to not lead me astray. So
oh yeah, I don't want to do anything that make you uncomfortable or anything like that.
Yeah, and it seems pretty cool so far.
All right.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. I don't know if you'll like my podcast. You don't have to listen to it.
I probably will.
Okay. That makes me nervous now.
Don't worry, I haven't yet.
Okay.
So it's okay.
Well, I hope you still like me afterwards.
Yeah, you sound fun. I'm sure it's fine.
Thank you. No one's ever said that.
I mean,
you seem easy to talk to, when we were doing our little pre-show talk and during our text. I was like, I like this girl's energy.
Oh, thank you. I try really hard because I lived with a lot of really shitty people for a long time. And so I was like, I don't want.
Oh no.
Not necessarily my family, but just roommates and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah. I'm like, you're how to do it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, first off, so most people, if they, most followers who've listened to the podcast kind of know Mia because she's already been on the show and all that stuff. So I thought like maybe we can like ask a little questions about yourself just to describe yourself a little bit. And the first one I had is like, do you consider yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, I'm an indoor kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get, if I know all of the people present, I'm usually fine. But I'm definitely introverted. I like to hide away in my cave.
Okay.
Especially now, after the last year. I'm just like a feral goblin.
I know. I feel bad for all the things that's happened last year, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's also been really nice to like work from home and like social distancing. I really hope never leaves.
I am terrified of the day that people get brave enough in the supermarket to like crowd you at checkout again.
Yeah.
I used to like, not a full panic attack, but I would go into alert mode when people get too close to me in the checkout.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so annoying, especially when they smell.
Especially when they're like big ass dudes. And like not like breathing. They're just large and in your area. Like no.
Yeah, just them like breathing in your space is too much. And I mean that goes for anyone, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you can feel their body heat, that's too close.
Yeah.
But good to know that you're an introvert.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I mean, that's the title of this podcast, The Talkative Introvert. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how like I started and all that and talking about introverts. So
I talk so much, Melissa. I talk so much.
No, that's really good. I mean, that helps with the podcast to make sure it flows. Yeah. It keeps going. And
my ex called me an audiobook instead of an open book.
Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that.
Report stuff, yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So have you ever taken like the MBTI or an Enneagram or any type of like that stuff?
Yeah, I know my Myers-Briggs is it's the green hippie lady. I think it's called the mediator. It's INFP.
I think that's what I either used to be or am. I totally forgot what I am.
And then I took my Enneagram, but it makes no sense. And I have to give them money for them to tell me about it. So I don't know what my Enneagram is.
I don't know what my Enneagram is either.
Yeah, same.
That quiz
one's
was
kind of
weird.
Confusing.
It was the same question 8 different times. And I was like, is this a star test? I don't.
Yeah. Back in elementary school.
Yeah.
And I don't get the numbers. Like,
but if you give $50, they'll explain it to you.
Oh my gosh. Give me $50 and I'll explain you to you.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So you're an INFP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you do astrology or zodiac type stuff?
I don't. I know mine because my mother does. I'm a Scorpio with a Virgo rising and a Libra moon, and she is a Virgo with a Scorpio rising and then a Cancer moon. And so we thought at one point that we both had Cancer moons, but it turns out it's not. But she runs all of our birth charts like within a week of us coming out.
Oh wow.
So I have access to my birth chart. I was a little bit into astrology when I was in high school, but now I just sort of casually know of them. Like I know loosely the dates. I know July is a Cancer because I got a birthday in July, and I know that like October, November is Scorpio because all of my friends are Scorpios. Like I know loosely based on other friends, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I couldn't sit down and be like, oh, Gemini. Like I can't do that.
Yeah. Like
so your mom like knows how to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just asking, like, so your mom like knows how to read birth charts and stuff, like.
Well, there's just a program that you type the day in, and then it used to be a CD that you would buy, and then this was like in the 90s. You put it into your computer, and then you just type in all the birth info, and it just spits out, like, probably like the Myers-Briggs report. It just like spits out what all the numbers mean. And it's like a book. It's like 30 to 40 pages. And then she would just bind it, and then they were just in the house. So I found them, you know, and that kind of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say, Mia?
I forgot.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
It was something about, it was just something vague about how I know what I am. Like, I'm a Taurus, and I know that my mom's a Cancer, and but I don't know any of the risings or moons or suns or anything like that.
I know of them.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm a Taurus, and that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like they're pretty accurate, or at least mine is, unfortunately.
Some of them are written though so that they apply to literally everyone.
Yeah.
And some of them are like they cut a little deeper. But I don't, like, I used to just like for funsies like go through and compare like all the romance, like what's this look like with Scorpio?
Yeah,
I compatible with a Sagittarius.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing.
Yeah, but then I just sort of.
That's what I do with the Myers-Briggs. I liked, if I knew a couple, like if I knew their Myers-Briggs, I checked to see if they were compatible.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I see.
I know Greg and I are both green. I have to look at. I remember the little characters. I never remember the letters.
The letters, yeah. I didn't realize the colors were associated. I just thought they were just random.
No, so purple, I'm looking at it right now. Purple is analyst, and green is the diplomat, blue is the sentinel, and yellow is the explorer.
Yeah, I think I'm the green one.
Yeah, I think you're the green one.
I think Greg is a protagonist, which is a green one. That little character looks familiar. Yeah. We all did this like 6 years ago, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember doing it in high school. Did we do it in high school, Mia?
We might have for freshman seminar or whatever that BS class was that they made us take.
That I got a C on.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't know how I got a C. I think I just didn't care about it. I was like, this is a dumb class. I'm not going to care. And then
no, it really was. But me being me, I was like, must get straight A's. So I had to like do all this stupid work.
See, I had the she could be so good if she just applied herself.
Oh, God.
That was me, because I didn't do homework. And like I tested incredibly because I just shove shit in my head and it stays there.
Yeah.
Like my friends all called me Wiki because I just know random bullshit so much. But my teachers were always like if only she could apply herself. And then now I'm like, I had ADHD and I needed help.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
So I know that I asked you before the show, but I did ask you which was the appropriate term. And then you said you were going to elaborate on that. Like,
yeah.
Right.
So there's witchcraft, and then there's Wicca, and then there's 1,000 umbrellas of anything that could feasibly be connected to witchcraft. So Wicca and a Wiccan is a path. So that is like a Protestant. Like Wicca has a structure and its own rules and that sort of thing. Witchcraft and paganism are like the umbrella on top of that, and then witchcraft and paganism themselves are sort of a Venn diagram. I won't go full like anthropology on it because I don't remember most of it, but I'm definitely not a Wiccan. We follow Cusp, which is climbing up the spiral pathway, which is a path that my parents and their coven actually sort of designed in the 90s, like 93, 94, I think. Probably wrong, but something like that. And so that follows under a paganism. And then the path can be applied to any religion under that, because witchcraft itself isn't like the religion, it's the practice. And so there can be Christian witches and there can be atheist witches and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
And then like my mom likes to tell the story that one of her cousins is the best witch she ever met, but she's like super Christian, like deep South Christian. I've never spoken to her because my mom moved to California. Like she moved out of the South in like the 70s, and then I was born in California, so I've met all of those people once when I was like 2.5, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you could be a Christian witch. That seems like an oxymoron.
So yeah, it does to a lot of stuff, but like do you ever watch the Beverly Hillbillies?
No.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah. That one's getting a little out there. I mean, it's even out there for my age group. And I'm only 20. Yeah. But the granny on that show, like she was a water finder. She did what they call granny magic, which is an Appalachian tradition where like, you know, the broom falls over and visitors are coming, or you what's the word where you look for water?
Oh, the divining rod?
Yeah, I'm Googling it, sorry. Excuse my tappy tappies. I think divining might be the word. I feel like there's another word. But like that sort of stuff. And then some of them could read like the way that their egg cracked and make decisions based on that. And that's all called granny magic. And that's not necessarily a type of paganism, but it is a type of witchcraft. And so voodoo is a religion. Hoodoo is the practice. So voodoo is tied very closely to Catholicism and their own African roots up through there. And then hoodoo is using roots and brick dust and whatever you have on hand to do spells, basically, or just any kind of meditational casting. And that is the practice, which is a type of witchcraft. And then you also get into like going, I said no anthropology, but I'm going to go anthropology. In South America, those tribes, there's, I don't remember what they're called. I know one of them is the Yanomamo. This might be the wrong one, but one of them will do dances where spiritually they will go forth and attack their village, like this rival village, and spiritually they will have the battle without ever stabbing anybody, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they just send the energy out to them, and then they celebrate as if they won the battle, like that kind of thing. And that is considered a type of witchcraft.
So basically there's like hundreds of types of quote unquote witchcraft, but they're all called different things. And
and it's like, I'm sure there's a definition from the anthropology point of view that I forgot because I took that class like 10 years ago. But it's the kind of thing where a person puts their intention and spiritual energy towards completing something without, I mean, with direct action, but also with like the call down to a higher power to assist, sort of.
So is that like what you do?
Yeah, for the most part. Mine is like my specific Delena brand.
Yeah.
I work in a lot of the ways with intention. So there's 3 in Wicca, and there's also something called Gardnerians and Alexandrians, and they are very by the book about it. But that kind of paganism witchcraft thing is like, there's 10 million names for the types. Like there's druids and there's asatrues and there's, I don't remember the other one. One of them is Odin and one of them is Thor. And all that kind of thing. And some of them have what's called the levels. And so there's first level witch, second level witch, and third level witch. The first level is the dabbling and the learning. You're the student. And then the second level is you're the teacher, and the third level is you're the master, you're the priestess. And I did take all three of my levels, and a lot of the things that they teach are about like working with intention and speaking with intention in your everyday daily life. And the way that that's worked for me sounds a lot like psychology, mm-hmm. where like you just speak your intentions into the world, even when you talk about yourself. Like
that makes sense.
You never say I had a bad day, because you've got all this day left. You just say, wow, the last few hours have been really hard, like that kind of thing. And then I have people go like, well, that's just psychology. And I'm like, yeah, that's why it works so well.
That's kind of like The Secret, Oprah's The Secret that she made all popular.
Yeah. I never read it, but I know of it.
Yeah, same. But it's just like all like a mindset type thing.
Yeah. And then
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's nice. And then there are some like with Wiccans, they have a whole like identified god and goddess, I think. I don't know. I wasn't raised in Wicca. This is just what I've osmosified.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they have the green man, who is like the god figure, and then I want to say Mother Gaia, probably, like the earth. And then the green man is like the trees and the sky and the spirit. And then they have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And the maiden is like sweet and virginal and precious. And then the mother, she is with child, has been made love to.
Oh, okay.
She knows more about the world and is caring and nurturing. And then the crone is post motherhood, menopausal, like the you don't have to baby anybody anymore. Like you're an adult, you know the world, you work through it. And
all right.
I sort of lost my thread, but I don't remember where I was going with it. But ours is based a lot more on the agricultural calendar, like rather than like a god and goddess. We use all the gods, and some people might not like that. Like if we need to talk to somebody about something, we Google the god that wants to do what we want to do, and not necessarily where it comes from. Sometimes that can be, especially nowadays. In the 90s and the early 2000s, it wasn't really a problem, but now it can kind of be a problem, because everybody.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Appropriation wise, there's closed religions, and I know some people like work with Lilith, who is the official first woman before Adam. And she was thrown into hell for wanting to be on top. Yeah. And I know of some Jewish people that take real offense to people working with Lilith, because that's very, very core to their tenets. I don't know a lot about Judaism or the Torah, but the person who was very angry about it told me that not to use it. And so like sometimes just grabbing a random god, some people might take offense to that. But like we had a book that was 365 gods and goddesses for every day, so you would just like go through and find who you vibe with. And sometimes you get called, like I went through a few months probably a year or two in high school where Kali came up every goddamn second of every day. Like I would
like the destroyer.
Yeah, Kali the Destroyer. I think she's Indian.
Yes.
Like I would just be watching TV and a movie came on, or I would switch channels and it would be the part of Indiana Jones where he's like Kali Ma. Like that kind of random thing happens all the time. It's called synchronicities. But Kali came up like 8 or 9 times in the course of a few weeks. And then I was like, all right, maybe she wants to talk to me. Maybe I should look into this sort of thing. And it helped. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it helped because she's the goddess of time and creation and destruction and power. And I was like deep into puberty,
Yeah.
So I'm going through a lot of shit. And so like taking that, you look for the book about her, you find out something um to honor and talk, and then you meditate on it. And then sometimes
and that's how you would communicate with her.
Sometimes some people, I'm bad at meditating.
Me
Hopefully
too.
it's the
Me too.
ADHD. But typically when I meditate, especially guided meditation, they'll be talking about something and I'm doing other shit. Like one time I did a past life regression, and she was like, you find this beautiful temple that's full of doors. You're going to pick a door, and then you're going to stop and be with it. Well, mine was an archway that I could see, like the sun, and like the mountains, and I could see all the shit on the other side of the archway. And she's like, look at your door. What kind of wood is it made out of? Touch it. Does it do anything? And I'm just like, fucking, there's nothing here. There's nothing to touch. I would like to go look at that garden down there, please.
Funny.
So some people really connect with their gods through meditations. And then I've mostly just sort of thought about it in my day to day and then accepted signs as they come, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really passive about all of it because it's been here for so long, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people have to work really hard to shield, which is where they intentionally like protect their thoughts and themselves from being affected by their environment and other people who, like evil eye kind of thing. And people from really horsing their gig. It's called shielding. But I never had to do that. Mine's just sort of always on. And so people are like, how do you do this? And I'm like, oh.
Well, that's kind of good. Kind of lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just from being brought up with it.
Mm-hmm. I do like the idea of like the different gods and picking the one that really resonates with you or like resonates with you at the time. Because like I kind of have an issue. Well, my mom doesn't listen. I kind of have an issue with like just one god because like everyone is just so different, It's kind of like the whole like, the president or the governor, like it's so hard to like please a mass of people because we're all just so different and like have different backgrounds and different struggles and stuff. So I like the idea that like there's different people for different gods for different, I don't know, it's like issues, if that's the right word, or not issues, but like
or just connections.
Like they're specialized.
Some people work with one god their whole life even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know right now, like I said before, some people have a problem with that, especially when it comes to ancestor worship, and that sort of thing. But a thing that I've heard, I don't do a lot of ancestor worship, so it doesn't really come up very much. But like everybody has an ancestor, and so like the Day of the Dead thing, some people are like, hey, that's ours, and I respect that, and I can agree with that to a point. But like everybody has somebody in their line that they could be like, hey, how you think it's going?
Yeah,
like talking to a deceased relative.
Yeah, or even just praying to them or burning a candle for them or that sort of thing. Maybe not a full ofrenda like Day of the Dead thing. But we do Samhain is our it's the night of the 31st over into the 1st, and it's one of the high holidays
of October.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, the night of Halloween over into November 1st. And part of that is calling down not necessarily an ancestor, but like somebody who's passed that you want to talk with. Like I know my brother used to call Jim Morrison all the time. And then some people like, because we were kids, so we didn't have dead people,
Yeah.
So a lot of the people in the circle like had actual relatives that had passed. So I was always just like, I like Elvis.
Yeah.
Like I'm only just now getting into having people that have passed, and I'm 28, that sort of thing. But it's hard, especially like as me, a white girl who was raised with all of this, and I don't want to like appropriate, but also everybody's information is different, and so I try.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do is try your best at something, and if you make a mistake, that's just a mistake,
Yeah. Plus, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to not to offend someone because no matter how hard you try, someone will find something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to live your life.
Yeah. It's also hard coming out of the Tumblr wars where I saw somebody describe it, how on Tumblr, like a 14-year-old would write this incredible, like perfectly believable, like hard feelings rant that sound so impressive and is just so completely factually wrong. So like how when you're not in it, how do you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And so I try, like with the sage thing. People are very, very upset about sage use, and I get a lot of it. Like we used to call it smudging, but smudging is very specific to Native Americans. But everybody burns herbs in one way or another, like so many different cultures. And some people are like, don't burn sage ever because it's appropriation. But then other people are like, don't burn sage because it's endangered. And I'm like, yes, endangered. Got it. But I have grown up with sage. Sage is the thing that makes me feel calm. My mother literally like Pavlov dogged us from bitty babies. That sage, now she tells this as a story, like when mom burned sage, us adult kids all sit down and shut up and calm down.
Oh, wow.
So what I try to do is just be very respectful about how I acquire my sage. Like I've been trying for 2 years now to grow it, and I just can't get it to go. But
oh, really?
Yeah, it's really finicky about getting started. Some people are like, just throw it in the ground, it'll go.
Yeah.
And then other people are like, you have to scratch it with sandpaper and wrap it in a paper towel and then put it in the fridge for 8 weeks. And then you have to check it every day, because once it sprouts, you have to put it in the ground really quick or it'll die.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, which one is right? What do I do? I've tried like 4 different ones, and then I've gotten a seedling twice, and then I've killed it because I forgot to water it, because it was a seedling and it needed watered like every 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
But
that's funny. My dad's house has sage like everywhere, I swear.
Well, this is white sage specifically.
Oh, okay.
And so what I do now is I have a grower in Stockton that my mother found.
Nice.
And they just have, the backyard farm that's just got tons and tons of sage. And they have like the website that's the same website they've had since 1993. And it has like 2 shop products on it. And you can buy either some bundles of sage or you can buy like some loose sage. And it's just them in their garden going around and trimming and putting it in a box.
That's cute though.
It's really cute. And so I have, those giant pretzel buckets that they sell at Walmart. I have one of those full of sage. I have enough sage for like the next 10 years.
Sheesh. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about people like, okay, so recently I was listening to this other podcast, and this one chick thinks that like her house is haunted, and so someone told her to burn sage and like go around the house. Like, does that make you angry, or like?
No, I would offer to do it for her. It's that's one of the ones where people where you get into saging versus smudging, because smudging is a very ritualistic Native American thing, and they don't always use white sage. They use like special herbs. Some tribes only use white sage. Some tribes never ever use white sage. And that sort of thing. And so you can burn a lot of different herbs. And I heard someone say to call it seining, which is, I think, Irish. Scottish. It's Scottish.
Seining?
Yeah, Saining. Seining.
Okay.
I don't know anything about seining, but I know that someone was like, "Hey, use this word instead of smudging." I call it saging, because we pretty much exclusively use sage in my house.
Okay.
And you get a bundle, or you get a shell, a frying pan, something that's not going to catch on fire. And some people like to use the really big abalone shells, and you put sand in it, and then you burn the sage, and you just sort of take your shell around with you to catch all of the ashes and the sparky bits. What's that called? It's a C. I don't know. The parts that are on fire that are falling off of the burning thing.
Like the charcoal, or like not the charcoal.
I don't know. But like the little the burny parts. So you don't burn your carpet. You catch it, and you go. I go counterclockwise, and I can explain that more later. Some people like to go clockwise. And you just open all your windows, open all your doors, anything that has like a secret cubby, like a closet that's got a corner that's got a bunch of stuff in it. You just want to take the sage stick around and just whoosh it out, and direct all the sage in, and your cleansing is what you're doing. And any stagnant energy or negative energy that's in the house, be it a spirit or just the fact that people live there, you're cleaning. And that sort of cleans it out. Some people really go the full, like, dress like the Romany people and like go full character, and that's kind of offensive. But I don't have a problem with someone who's like, hey, can you clean my house or teach me how to clean my house?
Okay. So like non-witch people, like it's totally cool to use as long as you're doing it properly.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that they know why they're doing it and what the intention of the action is. And that they don't burn their house down or set off their smoke detector.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
I tried.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, because people were, I don't know, because I was like, I wonder if that's offensive, because they don't actually practice it, it's just that a lot of weird things were happening in their house, and they wanted to, clean
Some
it.
people will say no to that because of the Native American appropriation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And calling it smudging and pretending you're Native American, like putting like special headdresses on or something like that. That's super offensive. But
I definitely wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but like there's cultures all over the world that burn smoke to cleanse themselves. If you're not comfortable using white sage, you could use rosemary, you could use sagebrush, you could use table sage. I have pineapple sage right now that I did get to grow that I'm trying to dry and see how that goes.
Okay. Cool.
I've heard that burning bay leaves actually has some sort of effect on people that makes them like calm and sleepy.
Yes, it's a very similar sort of reaction to sage. I think bay leaf is in the mint family. And so it's going to smell really clean. And, well, it'll smell clean to me because I smoke my house out once a month.
Yeah.
But, people burn bay leaves. People burn juniper brush or rose petals.
Do you ever use is it called Florida water or something like that?
Yes, my mom makes that.
Okay.
I don't use it. I'm really bad about cleaning my house with anything but sage. But there's Florida water, which I think you just sort of like, how the Catholics walk around with the little stick and like shoot the water everywhere. It's that,
the stick with the ball on it.
Yeah. It's like I don't know what it's called. The big silver thing that they.
What's it called? I haven't stepped into a Catholic church in a really long time.
Same.
Google it. Holy water sprinkler. What you called? Oh, it's just a holy water pot. It's boring.
Oh, yeah.
Aspergillium. An aspergillium. or an aspergill. And that's the one with the ball on the end.
Okay, so they're just like, that's holy water, right?
Yeah.
No, isn't the ball the smoke? And then
No, that's a sensor. That's different. That's like a little bowl that has like a lid on it. And then they've got resin burning in there, it's very similar to saging. And then it's usually frankincense and myrrh. I love how I'm talking like I'm Catholic, but my father was raised Catholic, so or my dad, stepdad. And so I'm not ignorant, but
yeah, no. Both Melissa and I were raised in religious families.
Yeah.
I was like, my mom was practicing paganism like by the 80s, and I was born in 92. And then when she married my dad in 97, I don't know if he had already converted. I think he did. I think he had already converted when they met. But she's also pagan, and they're the priest and priestess of our coven.
Oh, wow.
So you're like the equivalent of like the pastor's child.
I'm like pagan royalty. My mom has written so many books and runs so many fairs. And I do say that sarcastically and mean it sarcastically, but I'm not like completely wrong. Like, my mom's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, she runs that, what did you call it? The Fairy Festival?
It was the Fairy Festival. It is now Pangaea, because
okay.
the people who ran the Fairy Festival before were not very popular. So, some of them were fine, but like among the board, it didn't turn out very good.
Okay.
So they wanted
to still run it?
Yes, yeah, they're still on the board. They didn't do last year. They're not doing this year. I think they're trying to do something in September, but they have to have a meeting to decide that, and they haven't yet.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, and so they run that festival, and then there's a second festival called Pagan Pride that is a separate board, and so Pagan Pride is based a lot about learning, and Pangaea has learning, but a lot of it is just a chance to hang out with other pagans and like buy cool shit and like, have all kinds of vendors.
Yeah, I remember when I went, there was like a couple of performances, and there was booths of all sorts of crafts.
Bands, and we have Amp Guard comes out, and they teach people how to fight with Amp Guard rules. They're the guys that have like the foam swords and the historical shields and costume and stuff, and it's like
historical LARPing.
Yeah, without the full on, like it's like, I'm not in Amp Guard, so maybe I'm wrong, but it's less LARPing and more just like how to accurately beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
yeah,
they might go full LARP, but I get the impression that it's more, this is how to fight someone correctly, and now it's how to fight somebody and not injure them. But
okay.
But it's a little bit how to fight somebody and injure them.
So non-pagan people can go to these events.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're usually at the VFW hall in Fair Oaks, but not all the time. But it's public property, so we can't have the private events there. But yeah, they're usually public events.
Oh.
Melissa, that's across the street from where I used to live.
Yeah, I think I went to it was a fairy festival at the time.
You might have met me.
How funny.
Yeah, we might have met.
Small world.
You know, thinking about it, you guys actually might have been at the same party at my house once upon a time.
Oh,
yeah. Didn't I go with you to the fairy festival?
I think you did, because my art was there. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
we probably have met.
I hung all your art, Mia, and and then I ran the booth. We probably met and probably had like a 20-minute conversation, and just neither of us remember.
How funny. Oh my god, I probably did meet you. I probably would know who you are if I like saw you. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I look just like my mom, so you'd know one of us.
Okay. Oh, how funny.
But yeah, they have a shop in Cameron Park now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they teach classes. They They do meditations and belly dancing, and then they have like a whole store side.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
I've been Crossroads Metaphysical.
Okay.
And their website is crossroadsoccult.com. But
nice.
Oh, I want to go now.
We should go someday, Melissa.
Yeah. Let's meet Delena. Delena there.
Yeah.
No, I won't be there. I live in like fucking not the butthole of
Other
Sacramento,
place.
like the armpit of Sacramento.
The armpit of Sacramento.
Yeah, I'm in Sacramento. I moved out of my parents' house in 2011, so I'm down here and they're up there.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Well, lots of driving, so I don't go very much, especially after COVID.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you're in this area because you guys met in college, right?
Yeah,
community college.
Yeah.
Oh, community college.
Yeah.
Well, you went to special college. I stopped.
Yeah, I stopped going to college too. So.
Yeah.
I thought you met at
Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Santa Cruz.
Oh yeah, no, I met her up here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm in Sacramento also.
I would get into like, oh yeah, what part? But you're recording, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Where exactly
after.
do you live?
We'll talk about after the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did have another question. So we were talking about like the whole cleansing and stuff, and like how that one chick wanted to like cleanse your house of spirits and stuff. Mm-hmm. So in your coven, is that right? Coven?
I don't really have a coven anymore, but it would be called a coven.
Okay. Do you guys believe in an afterlife? Like I like in Christianity, we have like the heaven and hell, whatever. Mm-hmm. Is that like, what's the afterlife like, I guess? Like, do you believe in ghosts and spirits and all that?
That's individual. Like any of us. It's not like decreed.
Okay.
Some of us do believe, like I'm into ghosts, and it's called stone tape theory, which is where when you repeat an action long enough, the very like the buildings and the world around you records that kind of action. And it's
kind of like string theory.
I don't know enough about string theory. I know about string theory. That's okay. But the ghost people call it stone tape theory, and that's where like a haunted house is haunted because somebody walked up and down the stairs every night at 10 p.m. exactly, and the house remembers, and so you hear the footsteps on the stairs. Or like there was this one on this episode of Ghost Hunters. I'm obsessed with Ghost Hunters, man. Not Ghost Adventures. I don't like Zach Baggins.
As do I. I'm
right?
so glad you said
that. But yeah, Taps.
Yeah.
Old Taps especially is my favorite. But there was one where they did an Amish house, or I don't know if it used to be a church or something, or if it was just this dude's house. But you would hear people walking the top like catwalks all night. Mm-hmm. And it's just because that guy did that every day for 25 years, and the house remembers, and it's or if something traumatic happens, there's an energy imprint.
Yeah, that's what string theory is. It's like,
oh, is it?
Everything has its own vibration, and it kind of ties in if you kind of stretch it a little bit. It's hard to explain, but everything has its own vibration.
Everything in quantum physics, you just squint at it hard enough and it's magic. I mean,
yes, right.
That's kind of what's so cool. Is that like we call it my mother and I and the people, and she wrote her book, and it is called this in the book, the bio-universal energy, which is what connects all of us to each other. And that's what allows you to speak things into existence. I think that's connected to how the resonance of everything and how we are all connected and tied together. Hippie tree hug.
Well, it's not even just hippie tree hug. That's scientific. That's science.
Hug.
Okay.
But yeah, that sort of thing. And then
yeah.
Not
so
necessarily like a ghost is like haunting you, but more like there's that imprint.
I think it could be, because I also believe, like, I don't believe in demons, and I believe in sort of like this primordial energy that doesn't care. If that makes sense. Like where people are like, you upset it and now it wants to kill you. I don't think they care enough about what we're doing as people to if you like, I described it to somebody once as like, if you walked into Athena's temple and you kicked over her altar and you yelled at her and you were like, you're fake, blah, 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 like she would kick you out. But she's not going to like haunt you for the rest of her life. She's got shit to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like that kind of flavor of energy existing. And then maybe if somebody like needs something done bad enough, they could be a spirit, or if they just like hanging out and they just want to see what, like, as people spirits, like they just want to see what's up.
Yeah. So I kind of have a situation similar to, what you're talking about. Like, 2 people passed away in the house that I live in.
Mm-hmm.
And both my mother and I have had separate experiences where, nobody else has been around to verify it, but something has said hello to her and something has said hello to me. And it's, it's not been evil or anything like that. It's just
like you don't feel scared.
No, not really. I mean, it was kind of creepy because it was in the middle of the night and I was in bed.
Yeah.
So what?
That's just kind of rude.
So would you just treat it like a normal person, like as if they walked in and said, hey, like walk into your room and said, hey, what's up?
Yeah, you could do that. And yeah, I would do that, especially since you don't feel threatened. Like the kind of threatening energy where somebody's like, this is my house. But you also want to be like with intention, and you want to be authoritative because they might not like it, but this is your house now. But if they're not threatening in any way, I would just be like, hey, I don't mind that you're here. Please don't wake me up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out and chat, that's cool. Please do it when I'm awake.
Yeah.
I would love to hear from you. That'd be awesome. If you don't want to, like, if you're not here to scare us or threaten us or anything, you're welcome to stay. I have a sleep schedule that I would like to keep.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to hang out while I'm on the couch reading a book, you can sit on the other couch. I won't mind. Like that kind of, yeah, just have a conversation but like, not like a bad roommate, but like a roommate where they just moved in and you want to be like, hey.
Yeah. You want to be inclusive.
Yeah. And then if they are like, if it starts being negative, then you evict them. And you're like, all right.
Oh, okay.
And then that's, have you seen the comic, Mia? I know I share it every year, of the lady with the pots and pans running through her house going, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I love that one.
That I think is connected to
or like
several other practices where you clap. Like I know in Japan you clap to get the spirit's attention. In China, I think you do bang pots together. I think in Granny Magic you also bang pots, but that might be wrong. That might be something else.
I didn't go to sleep because of y'all.
Y'all didn't get to sleep because of me. But yeah, it's an attention grabber, and like you're clinking the glass at a wedding. Like, all right, listen to me now. This is my house. Mm-hmm. If you're cool, you can chill. The stage is not for you. If you aren't cool, get the fuck out of my house. And you just have to be authoritative and intentional, because they can tell when you're nervous about it and afraid of them. And if they're fucking with you, they're just going to keep fucking with you if you're scared of them.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, at the time I freaked out. I was like, I said something that was like, no, I don't want to do this tonight, and then I left the room.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, but you could also just be like, if that happens again, you can be like, you're scaring me, and then just have that be the end of it. And sometimes they're just like, oh shit, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just be like, the thing that you're doing is scaring me. If you want to talk, we can do it later, but right now you're scary, and I need you to stop.
It definitely freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
It would freak me out. Like,
yeah.
Like your Delena, your like view on like the spiritual world is very, in my opinion, like very positive, like as compared to, I guess, my upbringing, especially like kids who come from like Catholic backgrounds or like super.
Oh,
Christian
everything's
backgrounds.
a demon. Yeah.
Yeah, like the devil.
If it's talking to you, it's a demon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like for example, I refuse to use a Ouija board in our house.
Oh, I don't use Ouija boards.
Yeah, because to me that's just like a key to, I don't know, the spiritual world and inviting whoever and whatever into our space, and I'm like not for that at all.
And it is a direct invitation, and that's something else that you have to be very intentional and direct with. You have to say, these are the only people I'm interested in talking in. If you have any negative thoughts or feelings or anything towards me, you are not invited to this conversation. If you are benevolent and positive, we'd love to hear from you or something like that. But I don't fuck with that.
Yeah.
My mom has done it several times with success, but I don't have enough energy for real people.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I get that.
The spirit people also, I'll just talk to them normal. I don't want to write an essay.
I definitely get that.
Yeah. But yeah, I know lots of people that, and then there's like the rules on how to use a Ouija board. I don't even know them. But I guess according to all of my ghost podcasts that I listen to, some people you have to touch knees and like make the connection. Like the board has to be sitting on your knees.
Oh. Okay.
And then you do that, and then some people like it's on the floor with like the candles around, and then you have to say goodbye and stuff like that. And I mean, but that's just polite saying goodbye. But yeah, I'm not necessarily afraid of them. I just don't want to deal with them. If that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense.
Like if you don't want to talk to, physical humans, why would you want to talk to non-physical humans?
I don't want to dial a random phone number and then get whatever I get,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good way of putting it.
Yep.
So, I just lost my train of thought.
My train has no tracks. It just goes.
So have you been, because you said your mom has done it successfully. So have you ever been just part of it? Not actually doing it, because you say you don't do it, but.
Yeah, not in a serious way. I fucked with the board when I was little, but I never tried to talk to anybody, and it would always be me alone. And so there's no movement happening. There can be movement when you're alone. But no, because I was really little, and then mom did the thing where she's like, you can use this, but you have to be very, oh no, she didn't say you could use it. She said I could use it when I was older, but it's this is very powerful. You have to be very intentional with how you use it. You don't just call things with no reason. She had the mom talk with me where you explain things to a 7-year-old. Or actually I would have been 11 or 12 at that time. But yeah, I know, when I was little, I was like, that's neat. And then that was the end of it. I never really, it's just not interesting. She also does table tapping, which is similar, but takes 1 billion years. You hover your hands, you get a little round table, preferably with 3 legs, and you hover your hands just barely on the surface. Mm-hmm. And however many times your hands touch the table is a letter. So 1 to 26.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. It takes hours. So I've never done that, but she's done that before with success with the coven.
Okay.
So I know we were talking about Ouija boards, but do you use anything else like, like you see on TV, like
Yeah.
a crystal ball or something?
Oh, that
Crystal
was my
balls are
next
cool.
question. Yeah.
Crystal balls are cool. I've never used one. I own them because they're pretty and I like shiny rocks. But also they
Yes.
can set your house on fire because they're a double convex lens. So
Yes.
I don't have
Oh.
out. That's
Yes.
really fun in the store. When people are like looking at crystals, you're like, hey, make sure you cover this if you're going to leave it out on your table. And they're like, why? Can they reach out to us? And it's like, no, they'll burn your house down. Because
The
the sunlight
sun will burn your house
because the
down.
sunlight will hit it just right and set your table on fire.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. My mom has a really cool picture from the 80s of her holding one and it looks normal. And then the next picture of her looking down at it and it's like glowing.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's cool. I'm sorry for my cup noise just now.
Oh, it's okay. So you do. So does she use it? Or it's just.
I don't know if she does anymore. I've done scrying with black mirrors, which is where you just take a photo frame and you put black behind it and then you sear, basically. You stare at it until stuff happens. It's like meditation with a prop. And then I did pendulums for a little while, but I never have enough questions, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's always been here. I did all of my like, when will I get a boyfriend in high school?
Like any girl would.
Yeah. Like I had already had my girlfriend, and I was like, now it's time for a pee-pee. Give me a boyfriend, yes or no? But
So do you use like cauldrons and make potions? Or
yeah,
is that
those
like
are a thing.
myth? Okay.
No, those are a thing. Cauldrons are expensive because they're cast iron.
Oh yeah.
So I have a little bitty one that I burn instead of the shell. I use it for my sage, and so it's just got sand and salt in it, and then it just holds burning things for me. There's a guy that teaches at Mom's shop that teaches potion making. Not all of them are edible.
Okay.
Some of them are edible, but you do put herbs in there that are not safe, and so you don't always want to swallow them. Some of them you can, but I have a very sensitive stomach, so I don't branch into that too much. The most I'll do is like a sinus blaster tincture, which is sold like on Amazon. It's not fancy,
Mm-hmm.
but potions exist.
So it's like medicinal.
Yeah, and that's just literally because my sinuses are broken and I need to breathe sometimes.
Oh yeah, breathing is good.
Breathing is awesome. I've used one of the neti pots before so that I wouldn't be like. But yeah, cauldrons for my experience are just for holding things that are on fire.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, or I mean, some people use them to cook, or they use them they use them for specific purposes. But in my experience and my practice, it is just to contain burning things.
Okay.
And some people even just use a frying pan.
Oh, like those cast iron skillets or
Yeah, any cast iron, stainless steel, you just put sand in the bottom and then burn on top of the sand.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So talking about TV shows, growing up, did you like actually watch any of like the witch, like like Good Witch or Sabrina the Teenage Witch or Charmed or any of those kinds of shows?
I watched Charmed, but it was on while I was at school, so I couldn't watch all of Charmed. I just watched whatever pieces of Charmed that I caught. I really liked it. My mom loved Charmed. But I didn't like Hocus Pocus as a movie. That movie makes me sad because I don't eat babies.
Oh, yeah.
But Halloween Town. I love Halloween Town.
I love Halloween Town.
I love Halloween Town. But that one was a TV movie and Hocus Pocus was a theater movie. So everybody knows about Hocus Pocus and not Halloween Town.
I know about both of them.
Were you a Disney kid? That's why
Yeah.
I was a Disney Cartoon Network kid.
We didn't have cable growing up, so it was like when I went to my grandparents' house and it would be Halloween, it would be like a super special thing if Halloween Town was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Halloween Town. I have all
I feel
4
like it's like
DVDs.
it's a millennial thing.
Yeah.
Millennial kids know what that is.
Yeah. Well, they either pick Hocus Pocus or Halloween Town in my experience.
Yeah.
And I don't, Hocus Pocus makes me sad because they're all like painted to be ugly and like eat babies and want to murder children.
Yeah. To like, was it to stay youthful?
Yeah.
Alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Stardust. I love the witches in Stardust though, because like they're evil witches without eating babies. They just want to eat stars. They're like the fun evil witches for me. They're not like the gross monster evil witches.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, the only thing on TV really that like upsets me is when a haunting show pretends that it's secular. And then in season 3, everything is a demon and everything is witchcraft and everything needs to be solved by Catholics. Like, The Haunted did that for me. There was a show on Netflix. It wasn't on Netflix, but I found it on Netflix. That was about haunted animals. It was awesome for 2 seasons, and then everything was a witch's fault and demonic and needed a Catholic to come save it. And I was like, you couldn't just fucking do the same show again. You had to. You can tell they ran out of ideas.
Yeah.
That really upsets me. And then when everything, I know some people that get really mad at stuff like Supernatural and stuff. When they call it Samhain instead of Samhain, that just makes me laugh. Because like it's Celtic, like it's hard to say.
It's pronounced totally different than you're saying.
M and H make a V sound. But I think that stuff is kind of funny because it's like, they read a book once. But some people get livid when that kind of thing comes up.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I get that because like growing up and with everything we're exposed to, witches are evil and witches are bad and all that stuff. And that's why I'm like so fascinated for people who are actually like identify as a witch. Like I grew up super religious and we were like, witchcraft is bad. And like I went to a school where they didn't even let the kids, I mean, I loved Harry Potter, but some of the kids in that school weren't even allowed to watch or read the books.
Yeah.
And it was like insane. I was like, why?
Yeah. I liked Harry Potter up until fucking she lost her damn mind. And I mean, it was there the whole time.
You mean J.K. Rowling?
Yeah. Rolling like bowling.
Oh, whatever.
That's how Stephen Fry says it. He always has to correct people because he read the audiobooks. And so anytime on QI, when somebody says it, he's like, no, it's rolling like bowling.
Oh, okay. You learn something new every day.
Rolling.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's like how Rihanna is Rihanna.
Because of Stephen Fry. Is it Rihanna or Rihanna?
It's Rihanna.
Is it? Oh, okay. See, I would say Rihanna because that's the goddess.
Yeah, because I saw it like on an interview. And I'm like, that's so hard to change. I have to say Rihanna.
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, it's not on Wiki. Maybe it's me. I feel like it was somebody's daughter in some mythology. It's Rhiannon.
Oh, like the Stevie Nicks song.
Yeah, there's the Fleetwood Mac song, but that name, she's a queen in Welsh mythology. So yeah, that makes more sense. The Rihanna or Rhiannon. I would say that Rhiannon too. Looking at that, that's neat. I like her vibe. I don't listen to a lot of her music, just because like I missed that. Like I was balls deep in My Chemical Romance at that time. So she said, wearing a My Chemical Romance tank top.
Funny. I think they were supposed to play at Aftershock, but they're not anymore.
Yeah, they were gonna play last year. My
last year.
Parents had tickets and they got refunded, I think, or they got pushed. I don't know. I think you had the option to take a refund or just wait.
Because I honestly only wanted to go for them, and that was it.
I saw them in 2008 and in 2006.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been allowed to go.
They are very to me. My dad took me both times. It was fun because I was like, there's this concert I really want to go to. I'm like 13 or 14. Like, I really want to go to this. And he's like, okay, give me the CD and we'll see. And then he was like, this is fucking great.
Oh, that's awesome. I sometimes listen to like, they have like the emo station on Spotify, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll listen to that every once in a while, just for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Anyways. What was our other questions? So do you have rituals that you do on a regular basis?
Not so much anymore. We have 8 holidays. And I used to mostly do the holidays. Some people would do every new moon and every full moon on top of the holidays. But I usually would just do the holidays. And it's just once every 6 weeks. It's really easy because it's based on the cycle of the year.
So what's a holiday? Because it's, like in Christianity, we have Christmas and Easter and all that.
Those are our holidays. Did you know that?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I can go through the wheel of the year with you. Ours is a lot more like cusp, specifically our sect that they work in is a little bit different in that, like, if you were to Google the wheel of the year, you're going to see it and it's going to be running clockwise. It starts at Yule, which is December 21st to January 1st. It's that night. And it is the spark of life from the dark time. And then Imbolc, which is 6 weeks later. It is in February 1st or 2nd. Imbolc, I don't remember the middle holidays too well. That's Bridges Day. That's the first of spring, basically, or like when we celebrate the first of spring. And then Ostara, which is Easter, it's the equinox. It's spring equinox. And then Yule is the winter solstice.
Okay.
And so that is in March-ish. It's when the season changes officially. And then Beltane, which is May 1st. It is the fertility holiday. There's Letha, which I think has another name that I don't remember. That's summer solstice. We just always usually call it summer solstice. There's Lammas, which is Lunasa. It's in June? No, the other one. Where are you at? August. It's August 1st and 2nd. That's the bread holiday. It's the first harvest, I think. Yeah, summer. So winter solstice is we're in the dark of the year and we're coming into the first light. Imbolc is the beginning of spring. Ostara is your first planting. And then Beltane is the fertility day. The earth is very pregnant. That's when the maiden switches into the mother, like I mentioned before. And we have the great rite. Some people straight up have sex. We don't. We never did. We have a chalice, which represents the yoni, and then my mom has this awesome antler that looks like a dick, and so we use that for. A lot of people just use like a dagger to be the phallus, but we have this awesome dick antler, and you just you fill the cup with wine, or we use sparkling cider because almost none of us drink. And you put it in the chalice, and that represents the fertilization of the goddess. And then summer solstice is the switch from the longest day of the year to the dark times. Bread holiday is the first harvest. It's Lunasa, and the wheat is coming in. Wheat. and we make a giant bread loaf and eat it, and it's delicious. And then Mabon is the boon. It's autumn equinox, and that's your surprise second harvest. And then Samhain is officially the beginning of the new year, I think, in Wiccanism. I don't know for sure. But Samhain is, like I said, the night of Halloween over to the 1st of November. And that is when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest. And so we work with the spirits, and we prepare to move into the dark of the year, which is the time between Samhain and Yule. And we get really introspective and anything that's still in the ground after Samhain, like going from the farming metaphor, is considered poison. And so you work your ass off to get everything you possibly can harvested before then, because after that you would burn the fields. And everything left in it is considered unsafe to eat or for the gods. And so you would burn it as a sacrifice.
Okay.
And then it comes back to Yule, which is the spark of the first light, which is winter solstice.
So I
explained that really roundabout. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I got most of it. But you said like, because I was saying like Christmas, Easter, and stuff. But those came from your guys' calendar or whatever. Like, so do you know the history of that? Like how they're linked?
Yeah. So the winter solstice is like astrologically, it's anywhere from the 19th to the 23rd. We typically celebrate on the 21st, and it is the celebration of the coming of the sun god. And 4 days later is Christmas, which is the celebration of the coming of the Son of God. And Christmas trees are ours. They tried to ban Christmas trees and Christmas altogether because it was the celebration of Saturnalia and like the pagan gods. But the people were not having that in Europe at the time. When the church was trying to get rid of that. And so they shifted, because Jesus was probably born in like April. Like if you like historically count back in the shepherds in their fields, they wouldn't have been in their fields in December, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's in the Middle East, they wouldn't be out in their fields with their sheep in December. And so it was probably sometime in March or April, I think, they decided. I think somebody actually counted and figured it out, too.
Yeah, I remember someone, like, I don't know, disproving that.
Yeah. And so they took December 25th because it was close to a lot of the smaller pagan holidays that they were working with, like Saturnalia and Yule and that sort of thing. And then also all of the traditions were the traditions that the common people were already doing. And they just sort of cleaned him up and slapped a Jesus on it. And then Ostara is Easter. We celebrate the fertility. It's not quite fertilized like Beltane is, but that is when the earth is turning green. We're becoming like your balls deep in spring by the time that comes in. And the hunting for an egg is a pagan tradition. A woman would hide an egg and her mate would go off to find it. And if he found it, they would celebrate by having sex and hopefully have a baby. And stuff like that. And if you look down, somebody sat down with me one time and it was like, yeah, all of them are within like 4 to 9 days of our holidays and they all celebrate about the same thing.
Okay, that's
someone
interesting.
Knows it a lot better than I do, but I honestly don't know enough about, like, except for the holidays that they make us like celebrate in the US. I don't know a lot of the other holidays. Like I think Ash Wednesday is connected to something and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, Ash Wednesday is like, isn't it like 40 days before Easter?
Is it the beginning or the end of Lent?
It's the beginning of Lent.
The
because
beginning.
Then after that, you do the 40 days of whatever you decide to give up.
Yeah. And so that would be Imbolc because it's about 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 6 weeks.
Yeah. And then my brain's gone. Sorry.
No, okay. No, that's interesting because, like, for Easter, I didn't really understand the whole egg and bunny and bird or like chicken or chick reference and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like I remember asking my mom about it because her parents were originally Catholic and then they converted over. And she was like, that's an American thing because like in the Philippines, they don't even do like the whole egg hunting and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really commercialized, like American stuff. But it has roots.
Wow. I learned so much today.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I feel so bad because we're like not even halfway through your little paper of questions.
I know. We're like in the hour.
I talk so much. I'm sorry.
But honestly, like if you're totally up for it, we could do a part 2.
I could do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I could talk for hours.
Because I have like so many more questions, but I feel like we're gonna like go hours.
I don't mind going hours. If you guys have commitments, that's fine. I haven't talked to anybody in a week and a half that doesn't live with me. And at that time, I didn't know most of everybody. So really, I was talking to the people that live with me. And then before that, I hadn't seen another person that I knew personally in like 7 months. And you can cut that out if you want. That's stupid. But
no, it's fine.
I could talk for forever.
That's great. That fits in with this podcast.
Yeah, but, I'm like your target audience, man.
Yeah. I love all like the introvert stuff because I like only got into searching up introvert stuff like when I did the podcast, and then I was super excited that because Mia did say that you're an introvert, but I wanted to double check and ask you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, an introverted witch, like celebrity of my dreams, because I don't really care about celebrities. You know, so I was like, this is the type of person I want to talk to. But if you're up for it, we could do like different parts because I know we still have like a bunch of questions. But Mia, like, do you want to do one last question before we wrap up?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to ask any question or?
Yeah, whatever whatever you like.
Let me see.
Make it a good one. This is the finale question.
Oh God. No pressure or anything.
Come on, Mia. It's all writing on you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Podcast. Ignore me. I love you.
So I guess just what advice do you have for people who are just getting into it or want to get into it? Like, what's a good place to start?
I would say find a mentor that you jive with, because it's so different, the types of practices. And so if you find someone that's living the kind of witch that you're interested in, most of us love to talk and we'll talk about it for forever and ever. I would say books, but books are so, like, some of them are a little more open, but some of them are really black and white in what it's all about, instead of somebody who actually practices. I normally would know off the top of my head a lot of really great books, but I haven't read any in a really long time.
Okay.
But my mother writes books. You could read my mommy's books.
We could plug her book.
Yeah. No, she's got like 47 books.
We could plug her name.
I would just say to get super started, there's Facebook groups. Some of them suck, like any Facebook group, but you get a feel for the type of people in the group. Like, you don't have to comment, you don't have to talk to anything, just kind of stalk the group for a week or two and see what it feels like. And if it's something that you jive with, then you could start asking questions. A lot of us are really open to questions. Some of us are really pushy. And if anybody gets acidic or shitty with you, stop. Don't engage. Yeah. Just like any Facebook rules.
No gatekeeping type stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Gatekeeping can be really thing. We have the joke how everybody says you're not a witch if, and the people who are not witches are the people who say you're not a witch if.
Yeah.
You could, look for Facebook groups. There used to be a thing called Witchvox that I think went under, but it was like a chat for finding groups. And so I think people have made separate things on Facebook for how to find groups. Like, I'm in one called California Pagans. I don't use it. I'm only in it because they post events. And sometimes people ask a question like, hey, I live in the San Fernando Valley. Does anybody else have a coven? There's that kind of thing. Or if you know where there's a metaphysical bookstore, start there. Most of the people there, at minimum, they want to make a sale, so they're going to answer your questions. At maximum, they love to talk about this kind of thing. And even then, if not the owners, then the customers. Some of them can be really good. But also, if anybody wants to hug you and you don't want to be hugged, you tell them no. There's some really gross people that take
just like in any community.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. If you talk to somebody and they make you feel gross in any way, abort mission, because They will take advantage of the hippy dippy tree hugging, I love everybody kind of thing. If you don't want to be hugged, say no thank you and walk away. Because the gross people will seduce you into coming into their fold and then touching you unwanted.
So no strangers with candy.
Yeah, but sometimes there are cool people that have candy at festivals, so feel it out.
Oh, okay.
It's very common for like Reiki healers and stuff to have like a bowl of Jolly Ranchers out. So
I wasn't meaning like literal strangers
literally
with candy,
there are
but like
people with
the
candy,
idea.
sometimes it's great.
Okay.
But yeah, if it feels gross, don't engage. Believe your first impression if it feels gross. If you're nervous, like in the exciting way, that's fine. But you'll know the difference if it feels bad.
Cool. And when's the next festival you said? Or they're still planning it?
Planning?
Okay.
They have to have the meeting to decide if they're having the one this fall.
All right.
Okay.
So we don't know yet. We're still feeling it out, like safety wise.
Once you find out, though, let us know. And
then keep us updated.
I'll try.
I'll share it.
I'll try. Mia, you'll probably see it pop up on my Facebook page somehow.
Yeah, I'll just let Melissa know.
Oh, okay. Crossroads Occult. Oh, you know what? Crossroads has a Facebook page. Crossroads Metaphysical Store. There's a picture of a dude who looks like Orlando Bloom with gray in his beard, and then a lady with salt and pepper blonde hair leaning over him. Those are my parents. That's Crossroads Metaphysical Store at Crossroads Occult. They will probably talk about Pangaea the second there's any news about Pangaea to talk about.
Okay, cool. I just liked them on Facebook.
Cool. She also does lives, I think once a week, where they pull tarot cards and do like a Facebook live thing.
It looks like they have a couple of upcoming events too.
Yeah, anything at the store is going to be on here.
Okay. I'll put the links in the description.
Mean to plug my parents' store and be like, go buy from my mommy. But really, when I have a question, I ask mom. So,
I mean, don't we all?
Yeah.
True. All right. Well, thanks, Delena, for getting on. I'm excited to do part 2.
Yeah.
Maybe part 3. I don't know. I have a ton of questions still. I feel like we haven't even done half the list.
Thank you for putting up with me so far.
No, I love it. It's great. I want to know more. And I love your energy, and I love you're easy to talk to.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad. I worked very hard on that. Actually.
Okay. I was really nervous.
Or no, it's Juno. Juno is when she's like, you're so cool, you don't even know. And he's like, I actually try very hard.
Yeah, I was really nervous because I'm not really good at meeting new people. This worked out.
Say that I'm not, but I did work at a festival for several years, so I think technically I am only because of practice.
Yeah. I definitely have a customer service persona.
Yeah.
Same.
I should let you end your podcast.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Thanks for making it to the end. If you enjoy what you hear and want to stay up to date on the show, please follow me on Facebook or on Instagram. You can also check out my website at thetalkativeintrovertpodcast.com. All the information will be on there as well as in the show notes. If you want to help support the show, please review and rate the podcast and share it with your friends and family. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.